Another officer stepped forward. Why were you in the extraction zone? A pause. The system expected denial, deflection, confession. Instead, she said, there was a breach. Silence. Commander Veyl leaned closer. A breach of what? The woman lifted her head slightly. Containment field on sublevel Theta. One of the technicians frowned. That's a restricted alien incubation corridor. The room shifted instantly. Now the interrogation had direction. Explain, Veyl ordered. The truth begins to break the room. The woman exhaled slowly. I was assigned to recovery logistics during the evacuation chaos. A pause. There was a pod failure. No emotion in her voice. Just fact. I found an infant. The chamber went still. One officer laughed quietly. Human units do not get assigned alien infant recovery. She looked at him directly. I wasn't assigned. I chose. That word, chose, landed wrong in a war facility. Choices were not part of procedure. The shocking request. Commander Veyl narrowed his eyes. You expect us to believe you risked an Imperial convoy for a non-human organism? The woman nodded slightly. Yes. A pause. Then she added something that changed the temperature in the room. It was still alive. Silence followed. Because alive was not supposed to override objective. But it had. The question that was never supposed to exist. Another officer activated the restraint interface. Where is the infant now? The woman hesitated. For the first time. Just slightly. Then answered. In a maintenance crate behind the western supply trench. Confusion spread immediately. You transported it with you? Yes. Why? She looked down at her restrained hands. Because it couldn't survive without stabilized atmosphere packs. A pause. And I ran out of authority to ask permission. That sentence did something no interrogation protocol accounted for. The shift in the room. Commander Veyl stepped back slightly. Let me confirm this, he said slowly. You disrupted a war operation. For an unknown alien infant. She nodded again. Yes. A pause. Then she added. And supplies. That second word didn't register at first. Until the technicians processed it. Supplies. Not weapons. Not escape routes. Not negotiation leverage. Just survival resources. The question that changes everything. The room tightened again. What supplies? An officer demanded. The woman finally looked up fully. Atmospheric stabilizers. Nutrient suspension packs. Thermal regulation units. A pause. Then quietly. It's too young to regulate its own breathing cycle. Silence hit harder this time. Because the logic was simple. Too simple. The break in expectation. Commander Veyl frowned. You are aware this is a war camp? She nodded. Yes. And you are requesting resources for an enemy biological asset. Another nod. Yes. A pause. Then she said something that broke the interrogation format completely. I'm requesting them because it will die without them. No ideology. No justification. No appeal. Just inevitability. The moment the room stops being a room, one of the officers muttered. This is emotional contamination. But even he didn't sound certain anymore. Because nothing about her request aligned with tactical reasoning. There was no advantage. No leverage. No negotiation benefit. Only responsibility she had taken without being told to. Commander Veyl stared at her for a long moment. Then asked quietly, why would you take that responsibility? The woman didn't hesitate. Because I was the only one there when it started to die. Epilogue. The order that didn't fit any file. Later, the interrogation was classified as unresolved. Not because she lied, but because the system couldn't categorize her behavior. The final report contained only 3 lines. Captive demonstrated non-strategic protective behavior toward non-human infant life form. No evidence of operational benefit. Request for supplies confirmed sincere. And beneath it, a handwritten note from a junior officer, never officially filed. She didn't ask for her life. She asked for its breathing. And somewhere in a war camp built on interrogation and control, A decision had to be made that didn't fit any doctrine. Whether survival always belonged to the strongest, or sometimes to the one who simply refused to let something smaller stop existing while they were still able to help it.